Hello and welcome to another episode of the E-commerce Coffee Break podcast. Today we want to find out how you can avoid costly technical mistakes with Shopify. Now, you might think Shopify is straightforward, but there are certain things that you need to look into, and we want to dive into this today. With me on the show, I have Bogdan Dogaru. He's the CTO and co-founder of Vevol Media at vevolmedia.com. Bogdan has over a decade of experience in development and leadership. He has learned healthy principles for successful delivery. He believes in a balanced approach to all his actions, leaving room for mistakes. One of his mantras he likes to convey to others is keep it simple, and I'm 100% on the same page with him there. So let's welcome Bogdan to the show. Hi, Bogdan. How are you today?
Hi, Klaus. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm good. Quite excited to start sharing stuff and having a chat with you.
Great to have you on the show today. So let's dive right into it. Technical mistakes with Shopify. Now, some of our listeners might scratch their head and said, yeah, well, I'm on a platform and Shopify takes care about everything. So why should I worry about Shopify? Walk me through a couple of areas within Shopify that actually can cause headaches when it comes to the technology in the background.
Well, sometimes it can be really simple, and if you think even from the start, when you choose a theme as a Shopify Shopify store owner, when you choose a theme, even that can be can open you to mistakes. And I've discussed this with a lot of people, even with our clients. They need to be really careful because there's and I'm going to dive in a bit into the technicalities, but there's the official Shopify theme marketplace, and they having experience with that. As for example, we build our own theme, and we're in the process of launching it, hopefully quite soon. We've been going through the experience of meeting the Shopify standards. They really have a high quality standards on this side, and if you don't get that, then you won't be an official Shopify theme. So those standards, if they're not met by any theme, then from my experience, I would definitely recommend every entrepreneur in Shopify to avoid non-official themes. Yeah, it's a bunch of reasons for that, and I can explain a lot more if you're happy for me to do it.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. Give me some examples.
yeah. So first of all, even when you think about the design, and I've met this scenario many times, the entrepreneur or the manager comes in and says, "Oh yeah, I like this design. I want to implement this in our store, even if it's a new store, or if they don't want to do a revamp." But the thing is, they think for them as a client, which is completely wrong from my point of view, because they need to. The client is the client. The user is the potential client. So you need to think about that instead of putting yourself in the shoes of the client. And yeah, it's one rookie mistake that some people do, and yeah, I would strongly suggest to revise this attitude when you choose a theme. And it happens even with design changes, because they come and say, "Oh yeah, but I think I'd like, I don't know, this button to be slightly bigger or slightly smaller, or not here, or stuff like this." And then we come in and say, "Look, we have this experience. We're gonna work with your marketing team, for example, with your, if you've got an agency working on that. We get the data, and based on past user experience, we can suggest changes, but it doesn't really have to be pleasing the owner. It has to please the user, and most important thing, it has to convert the user into a paying customer." So yeah, that's one thing. And just going back to the official Shopify marketplace for themes and the standards, there's code standards, and really, don't get me started on that, because I've been having a full stack development experience. I've seen bad code, and I've seen good code, and I've seen a lot of bad code in the non-official themes, and there's a lot of people having those themes on their stores, which is a big no-no from my perspective. obviously I'm very subjective when I discuss this, and because we work with Shopify closely with the company itself, so it's like I said, I'm very subjective, but also we've got experience with stuff like this. So yeah, I would definitely suggest people to stay off the non-official themes because it can bring trouble.
Hmm. Obviously, if you have a new shiny, and you mentioned that it's like there is a very strict approval process from Shopify to get a new theme into the theme store. And then obviously, if you start with a fresh theme, everything is fine. And then you said once the changes are coming in, the problems are starting. So what's your take on finding someone on Fiverr, on Upwork, on all these freelancer platforms as a developer to do changes for you? Is that something you would recommend or something you would shy away from?
I wouldn't say you should stay away. At the end of the day, it's as a Shopify owner, I guess it's all about your costs as well. So if it's within your range to only go to Upwork or Fiverr and people like this, then go ahead. When you go to an agency like we have, like Vevol Media, you get the benefit of multiple people working on your project, multiple people having experience working with different things in the platform. So that's one of the benefits. Another benefit that comes back to what I said before, the coding standards that we impose on our development team, or our development team, they're really high, and they are in line with Shopify wants and Shopify uh, has on the checklist. So I would say, again, up to your budget, but I would definitely recommend looking for experts in this area. And don't get me wrong, we've worked with freelancers in Vevol Media for things here and there, and we've found gems in those places. And I think, yeah, if you look hard and if you know what to look for, then you can definitely get some good people on Upwork or Fiverr.
Okay, I still would recommend to go for a Shopify certified partner, then you don't have this headache. Now let's dive a little bit more into the different areas where technical mistakes can come up. Talk me through which kind of parts of your business, of your online business, do you need to look in? Is it like the performance of your store? Is it apps? Is it customization? Where do you see the most mistakes coming up?
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, the theme is the probably the first part someone hits in the process of setting up a Shopify or changing a Shopify. So migrating to Shopify again, that's a good scenario. And then there's this scenario where people come with existing Shopify stores, or like I said, migrating them and say, look, our website is quite slow. The performance is bad. We want to move to Shopify because we've heard that it's much better, the checkout's better, the whole performance is much better. Or they have an old theme and they want to change it to improve the performance, and that's a very common request we have from clients or potential clients or our current clients. And I'd say you have to give a lot of attention on this area too. And we do have, for example, we have a few aces up our sleeves. We know how to do some white hat tricks with code. So no old school black hat hacking. It's just things that we improve. But also, I want to point out to this because it's quite important. The people managing the stores, either if it's the owner itself, or if they have an in-house person or a whole team doing it, they have a huge responsibility to understand the platform. Because what they do is sometimes by not understanding the platform, they tend to their action tend to negatively balance on the performance. And just probably the simplest example is the images they upload. They keep pushing large images, for example, and multiple images on the same page, and it will impact the performance of the page speed. So you have to think like this, and I consider that to be a gap in training and not understanding the platform fully. obviously you can't fully understand the whole Shopify platform, but that's where a team of experts can come in like ours and say, look, okay, let's follow these guidelines. Let's impose some documentation that you need to follow in order to actually not break the performance of your website. And this happens a lot. I've seen it so many times that we kind of productivized this service of website Shopify improvement, Shopify performance improvement.
I think good point that you mentioned there. A lot of merchants are not developers, not coming with a technical background, but obviously they need to have a basic understanding on what they should do to prevent mistakes on the site. Now, your mantra is keep it simple, and I really like that. I'm totally on the page with your keep it simple and stupid is mine. So when it comes to the implementation or of the process itself, going through and finding issues on a store, what's your process there? What's your approach there?
I think so. This keep it simple mantra comes from my coding background, because we tend traditionally we tend to write many lines of code to fix one simple thing, and having that experience in my background has taught me that sometimes you don't need those many, that thousands of lines of code to fix one issue. You have to be smart about it. You don't have to hack your way to fix a thing or other feature. You just need to be smart, and it comes back to what I said before: understand the platform. Even as a developer, you have to fully understand what you have on your plate. What's Shopify, for example, offering you in terms of coding and standards. So if you understand that, then you'll find better solutions with simpler implementations. And that's one thing I keep telling my team is, okay, can we find a simpler solution to this? Do we really need this complexity of code or this complexity of features? Can we break down stuff into smaller bits of code or smaller features? Because at the end of the day, you want to deliver success, you want to deliver a good thing, and you can't do it by overcomplicating yourself.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned before that your customers approach you when they feel that there is technical issues with their store, with their website. Who's your perfect customers? Whom are you working? Are there certain industries or verticals that you work more with than others?
Oh well, the perfect customer is the one with the unlimited budget, isn't it? I think that's true for everyone. The one that understands the platform and says, "Yeah, I'll give you whatever money you want, just do the job." But yeah, in all seriousness, I think the perfect customers, it is the one that understands the platform and what we're doing, and understands the value of what a Shopify development agency like ours does, and understands how to use that value, because we've built stuff for years that maybe sometimes they just forget about the things we've built, and they don't use it to the full power of what it could be used for. And same thing for what Shopify builds. The whole platform is huge. It's got loads of features and tools and technologies, and I haven't met yet the store or the customer that uses all the tools. It's probably impossible at this point. But the tools are there. So if someone understands how to use them and how to leverage our experience, I think that's the perfect customer.
Mm-hmm. Can you share some success story with a client you worked with, and you don't need to name the brand, what kind of results they got?
So I think we have a few success stories, and one that's really close to me personally is it's actually a friend of mine that a few years ago I've just keep pushing him to uh, start a Shopify online store. They had a physical presence, they have a physical store, and I said, look, let's put you up online, and we did that, and now they're thinking about closing the physical stores and only keeping the online shop, because it just gets more and more traction, and people obviously during the pandemic, and after the pandemic, people just flocked into online. So it's it's coming to this point where physical stores are very redundant. But yeah, I think that's a really good success story, especially of moving to online.
Mm-hmm. On that topic, you have the pulse on the finger of your finger on the pulse of e-commerce. What kind of emerging trends do you see coming up right now? Is AI a big factor, or what other trends do you see?
Yeah, definitely AI. You can't deny it. It's everywhere. Everyone does AI at this point. And even within Shopify as a platform, they've launched some AI features which are really cool. There's AI apps, and definitely it's something that's going to be huge. It's already huge, and it's going to be much bigger in the next few years. I think what I've been seeing happening as well is the visual experience of the user is really important, and videos have been really important for e-commerce stores in the past few years, and I don't see this going away for the foreseeable future. So definitely video shopping, and telling the brand stories with with videos with really good imagery. I think that's gonna stay, and it's a given. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, going back
Very,
to AI, definitely AI.
yeah, AI is everywhere. You're right. Give me a bit of idea, Vevol Media, what do you help clients with? What's kind of the portfolio, and how does the onboarding process look like?
Okay. Yeah, we've evolved a lot because in the beginning we were much smaller, much less experienced, and we dealt with the simpler stuff. As the platform grew. We grew as well. Like I said, we have the bigger team, the broader experience as a team. So now we can help brands to scale. We can help brands to migrate, and that's a very big thing for brands, especially for enterprise brands, because I think traditionally, and there's a misconception here, I've been dealing with. There's a misconception of brands thinking Shopify is for small companies, and that's how I've been perceiving it for a while. And Shopify has worked a lot, has invested a lot of money in development and R&D to overturn this, to make sure that all the businesses, all type of businesses can use the platform and their tools. And that's what we did as well. We speak with more and more enterprise customers with highly complex delivery system and purchasing system that are looking to Shopify, to migrate to Shopify. And that's very rewarding for us because we want to do the complex things. We want to work hard, basically. Uh, as you evolve, you want to do harder things.
Yeah,
And
make,
to go back to the onboarding process you mentioned, we what we've done in the past year or so, instead of just saying, let's say, saying yes to all the, the clients, all the projects, we've been doing kind of a process where we try to understand the business first, try to understand the requirements that they need in order to fully function on Shopify. And then it happened, and I have a real life scenario example that we discussed for months with the client trying to migrate to Shopify, and at the end of the process we said, look, I don't think this is going to work for you at this point. You need to sort out this and this and this if you want to migrate. And yeah, they decided to just give it another year on the old platform they were. And yeah, if it gets to this decision, then it's fine. It's not for everyone, but it will be. It will be.
okay, that sounds good. Before we come to the end of the coffee break today, is there anything you want to share with our listeners that we haven't covered yet?
I think I think it all comes from the same place. The whole Shopify experience we have, and what I've been trying to convey today, and not just today, but in all the conversation I had, is that Shopify has grown so much that, like I said, it covers all the types of businesses. And now we have this giant that you just have to put to work. You just have to pick up the tools and use it to the maximum to actually get more money, because that's what, at the end of the day, it's what the entrepreneur wants. It's more money, and I think you can definitely do it. And us, our company, myself personally, we can help brands, e-commerce brands, doing this in a very flexible and scalable way. And that's how we kind of put ourselves there. As we're flexible, we know to adapt to things. We discussed AI. It's not going to deny AI when it comes to understanding a business and how AI can help that business. So yeah, working with us definitely would get the benefits of understanding the business and scaling it.
Yeah, you're quite right. I think the last update was Shopify. They had about 100 updates with the winter sessions or whatever it's called. So it's just a massive flood of new features within Shopify, and it really becomes difficult to keep an idea on what you can use. And working with an expert like yours definitely makes sense. Where can people find out more about you guys?
I think the best way is to reach out to our website, but we're quite active, myself included, and my co-founder, my business partner, Dan. He's very active on LinkedIn, and our company is active on LinkedIn, and we're trying to engage as much as we can. We're actually now focusing a lot on Eastern Europe and Romania, because both myself and my business partner, we were originally from Romania. So we want to make sure that Shopify gets a lot of brand awareness in that area, because there's lots of potential, business potential, and I think the market share would kind of change in the next few years, and we want to be there. We want to make sure that uh, Shopify is there and we're next to Shopify.
That sounds like a good plan. I will put the links in the show notes. Then you just want to click away, and I hope a lot of our listeners will reach out to you. Bogdan, thanks so much for your time today. I think that was a very good overview on why you should have a professional partner on your side when it comes to Shopify to avoid any kind of technical issues with your store. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you for your time, Klaus.
Hey, Klaus here. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Before we wrap things up, I've got a couple of important points to share. Firstly, if you have enjoyed today's episode and want to support the show, here's a simple way to do it. Help me out with that algorithm magic by liking, commenting, and subscribing on your favorite podcast app. And if you're feeling extra generous, leaving a rating would be great. Your support helps me bringing more impactful guests on the show, and it makes it easier for others to discover the podcast. Secondly, I want to talk about to all your business owners out there. Here's a question. Are you tired of juggling everything in your business while struggling with your marketing tasks? Fed up with hit and miss experiences of hiring freelancers or agencies that don't quite get your vision? But perhaps you're not ready to commit to a full-time in-house marketer just yet. Well, I've got a solution for you. Introducing our fractional marketing team. My team and I provide top-notch experienced marketing professionals to become an extension of your business. Not only will they save you up to 50% on cost compared to traditional hires, but they also take care of all this time-consuming, repetitive and complex marketing tasks that have been holding you back. And this way, you can concentrate on what truly matters, the core of your business. To learn more about how we can help you to scale up your online sales with a fractional team member, head over to our website, smart-ecommerce-marketing.com, or reach out to me directly and I'll get you the details. You will find the links in the show notes. Thanks for being a part of our podcast community, and remember, your support means the world to me. Until next time, see you then.